So today what we're going to be looking at is crystallization, or when a substance comes out of liquid form into a solid crystal form. And to do that, what we're going to be doing is making rock candy, or making sugar crystals out of a sugar syrup or liquid form. So again, to do this, we're going to go to the kitchen.
Okay, so what you're going to need for making rock candy is sugar, very important. You're going to need a pot. You're going to need about half a cup of water, a tall glass. Mine's pretty skinny, so I don't have to use as much water and sugar. If you use a bigger or wider one, you're going to need more solution just to fill it. You're going to need a string to grow your candy on. It should be a little bit longer than your glass is tall. You're going to need something that can sit across your glass so your string can be attached to it. If you don't have string, you could also use a wooden skewer or a popsicle stick to put in there. I just don't have any of those. You're going to need measuring cups so we can measure our sugar, and then something to stir your sugar and water when it's on the stove. And you are going to need some patience. This is going to take a while, like a week a while. So you're going to set it all up, and then you're going to have to wait and be patient. But once you have all of that, you can get started. Okay, so now I'm going to start doing my string so we have a place for our crystals to start growing. Now you want your string to hang down in here a little bit off the bottom of whatever container you have. So I'm going to use a pencil that will sit on top of it and just wrap the string around the end of that pencil till it's the right length we need it to be. So I'm going to check, and you can see right now that it's a little bit above the bottom, so that's where we want it to be. So I'm going to tie my string so it doesn't move and I know I have the right length hanging down. And then just check again to make sure it hasn't moved too much when you've been tying it. And you can see that it's hanging down in there, but it's not all the way down, so that's where we want it to be. And this is going to give our crystals a place to start crystallizing onto when we do our sugar solution. Now I'm heating up my water on the stove, and I'm going to slowly start adding my sugar to the water. Now, you're going to use about a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every 1 unit of water, you're going to use 2 units of sugar. So if I put half a cup of water in here, I'm going to use twice that amount of sugar, so 1 cup of sugar. So I'm going to add this in slowly, add some in, and then stir to dissolve it. Now, the more sugar you put in, the longer it's going to take to dissolve each time. So you want to add it a little bit at a time and then keep stirring to dissolve away. Okay, and this is now the last of my 2 cups of sugar, or cup of sugar, last of my cup of sugar. So once that is all dissolved, okay, so now we're going to start putting our seed crystals onto our string so they have some place to go. So I have my string on my pencil. I also have a little bit of extra sugar that we're going to need. So first thing, we're going to dip our string into our sugar solution just to get it wet. And then we are going to put it into our extra sugar just to get some crystals on there. So you can see now, hopefully, that I have sugar crystals on my string, and we're going to let that dry for a little bit while we let our sugar solution cool off. So let this dry for about 5-10 minutes or so before we pour our sugar solution on, because we want to make sure our sugar crystals don't just dissolve when we add our syrup. So wait about 5 minutes for everything to cool down, 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll have our next step. Okay, so now I have my container with my string and some sugar crystals already on there. Let that dry for about 5 minutes, and I have my sugar solution. So now what you're just going to do is carefully pour your sugar solution into your container. You're going to want to take your pencil out while you do that. I'm just going to put it over there. So carefully do this. If you're not sure about your pouring skills, get somebody else to help you. You don't want to spill this. So carefully pour this in until you filled up your container. And then we're just going to place this into our sugar solution. And now comes the patient part. We have our crystals that we've put on our string. So those are our seed crystals. They're going to form as the basis or the place where our other crystals are going to crystallize onto. But to let that crystallization happen, what we have to do is let water evaporate from the solution, which means that if there's less water, the sugar gets more and more concentrated till it can't do anything else but crystallize out into solid form. So you're going to need to give this probably about a week or so before you're going to really see a good amount. You should start seeing a little bit of crystal growth after a day or two, but it's going to be, the longer you leave it, the bigger your rock candy is going to be. So you're going to have to be patient and wait. So we'll check in on this in a couple days.